They force feed you an ideology, the war psychologically, switch your animosity to your oppressors.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum. Astaghfirullah.
Wa
alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. Welcome to the Block Model.
Alhamdulillah.
Man, today, man, I got a phenomenal guest, man. Man, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, I'm Qaso. I'm Qaso. You know, if you know, you know. We're going to leave it at that. But from the Cosmometry Philosophy, you're going to get to know me sooner or later. You know, and I'm Qas. That's it.
It's Qas?
Qaso from the Cosmometry Philosophy.
Okay, Qaso from the Cosmometry Philosophy. Well,
yeah.
Man, you know, I go back to the Cosmometry Philosophy development, man. I was a part of the development process.
You definitely was. That's what this whole episode is about. You know, how this came about. You know, so
100%, man. And I want to acknowledge you. I appreciate you, man. And I want you to just share with the audience a brief overview of your journey from early life challenges to where you are today.
Well, it ain't brief, ain't nothing brief about it, you know, but, you know, we can start. I was once in the streets, you know, I was once, how can I say it?
A product of your environment.
Definitely a product of my environment. I was once limited to the ways restricted to the ways I could express myself due to my environment. You know what I'm saying? You restricted to
explain that a little bit more.
Meaning in the environment we come in, you taught to react, or you limited to the way you can express yourself. Meaning, if somebody come to me in a disrespectful manner, I have to return in disrespect in an aggressive manner, because it's the way we've been restricted to think. You see what I'm saying? Our thinking is limited to the behavior of our social. Oh yeah, right. Our social patterns. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
so I was restricted. I couldn't. You know, you have to react a certain way. The streets tell you gotta think like this.
Wow.
You gotta do that. Or you a lame. You see what I'm saying?
Or you pray.
Huh?
You pray.
Yeah, you pray. Yeah, you're a victim.
You're a victim. You're vulnerable.
Right.
Okay.
So a lot of times it was just marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to set a statement. You know.
Wow.
Especially in the life we came up in. I come up in the streets.
Okay, so looking back, what were some of the most significant challenges you faced?
Oh my gosh.
Let's start off with the block before we even made it to the prison.
For sure. We got to start off with the block. Okay, the most significant challenges you face is a corrupted system. At 17 years old, I caught my first case. I beat it. I beat it. I caught a gun case. I beat it on the grounds that the officer got on stand and told a bold-faced lie. He lied so much that he lied his way off the conviction. I was charged with a CCW, and when I go to trial, the officer, I thought I was in the wrong courtroom. I'm like, huh? So how it happened is they came in. I was in the crack house, whatever, and they came in, and I had put the gun up to, in the attic. I don't know about laws or search warrants or none of this. So I just, when they take me down and they come in the house. It's not my house. They come in the house. And I put the gun in the attic. And my young and dumb, 17, I leave the chair right there by the attic. So when the police come in, he see the chair, he look up, find the gun, take me down. They book me for CCW. On my trial, the officer gets up there and says, this is what he says now. He seen me outside talking to the fiend with the firearm in my hand. I saw him and I ran and he pursued me in the house. This is how he tried to justify a search warrant, knowing now at 17 I don't know nothing. The only thing I know is my lawyer say, you seen my client with the gun and he ran in there? Yeah, I seen him with the gun. Now he raised his right hand to God and told a bold-faced lie.
The officer?
The officer, a bold-faced lie. So at this very moment, I realize I'm up against the people who supposed to protect and serve. I'm up against he just as dirty as me. You see what I'm saying? So this gave me a whole perspective of the streets. Like the best lie wins. You know what I'm saying? So he get up there and say he seen me. My lawyer said, and I am appalled. I'm about to go. I'm ready to get up and get the cussing and throwing shit off. And my lawyer like, calm down, young blood, calm down. And he like, Jan, I move for dismissal. And he's, I'm like, I'm listening. He said, on the grounds that out the officer's own testimony, he states that he seen my client with the firearm in plain view. So how is he carrying a concealed weapon? Dismissed. While cleaning out the courtroom. And I think that might have made it worse. You see what I'm saying? I think that might have made it worse.
For them?
But for me.
But because of on them being on you more.
Because no, I'm saying because me seeing, A, y'all full of shit, and B, I can beat y'all.
Oh, so it gave
me a false sense of confidence.
Okay, you had that John Gotti feel.
But not even that. It's just
the Teflon Don. This how he felt because he beat the charges, man. He beat some indictments.
But this is a petty case.
In your mind, but that's still a gun charge. That ain't no petty charge.
My second case was a attempted murder in broad daylight. I caught in broad daylight in front of like 30 people. I had 4 eyewitnesses against me. Yeah, because this is when I start. I'm guilty as charged. This is when I started making. I remember how to make salat because I'm in a jam, and the only thing I could think of was how to pray. There was another brother in the county with me who showed me showed me how to make my salat. So I had made salat from 15 to 19. Yep, I went 4 years without praying, and he showed me how to make salat, and I ended up beating the case on self-defense because, mind you, I had already beat this first case, and now I'm like, man, I'm up against. That was the law I beat. So now I'm up against some niggas in the hood. It's your word against mine. You see what I'm saying? Right. So I went to the law library, you know what I'm saying, studied everything from murder to assault and battery, and I saw this little clause in there with self-defense. You couldn't retreat, you know what I'm saying? Person had to be shot in the front, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, I ended up beating the case. And Allahu Akbar, for sure, because I was praying on overtime. I was offering
That's when the law calls for us the most, man. When we in our lowest space and we don't got nobody else to call on.
Listen,
that's when the law is expected for us.
I was praying du'as on overtime. So, but however, when I got out, like my reputation superseded my character. When the hood felt like they thought I was like, yeah, I beat it. In all actuality, I'm like, alhamdulillah, I beat it.
Thank you, Allah.
Woo! I didn't want no smoke from Jump Street. I was never the type of person who brought no type of aggression on anybody. It was always in
the character of the
Muslim. You know what I'm saying? Facts. But I don't know this. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know this at this point. It just is what it is.
For the win though, because this is
for sure.
This was a time that was needed.
No, because this was when the first thought hit my head. Like, maybe these salats might work. These mugs, you know what I'm saying? This when it hit me. So my faith began, but my knowledge wasn't there.
Wow, Allahu Akbar.
It
was a mercy. So would you say there was a specific turning point or event outside of you offering the prayer that changed your direction?
I wouldn't say outside of offering the prayer, but there was several events.
I mean, not to like you say. They say not to negate, brother. I don't mean to negate the prayer. Right. I mean anything else that motivated you, that sparked your desires to change your life.
I'm in the dunya chin deep. You hear me? I'm in the dunya chin deep, and if you know, you know. I'm in the dunya chin deep. And what happened is my past came back to haunt me. And so several incidents happened that really sparked me on this journey.
Okay.
May 13th, 2003, I got shot. I got shot real bad. Like, and I usually pray before I leave the house. And this time I ventured off and went to a titty bar.
Without no prayer?
No, without no prayer. I'm in the dunya chin deep, and I go in the titty bar with no protection. You see what I'm saying? I go in the titty bar with no protection. A'udhu billahi. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm in here drunk, and I was, mind you, I don't know nothing. I'm in the dunya chin deep.
I get it.
You got to go through the journey.
No judgment.
I'm in here drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And end up coming out getting shot up bad. Like, I'm on the curb. Homicide had all my stuff. I'm on the curb.
And they thought it was over.
Hey, listen.
They was calling you Cookie.
Listen, when I hit the ground, I said, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Dude standing over me. He like, yeah, say that, underlay. I'm like, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I ain't panic. I'm like, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. I kept saying that all the way until it's like a warm sensation came over my whole body. Like my whole body got warm. Then it was followed by a cold sensation. I'm talking about my body just got freezing, but my nerves like bad. My leg keep moving, and then my whole body got stiff. You know what I'm saying? And at this very point, I started thinking, what's next? What's after this life? You see what I'm saying? That's when the big question, Captain, what's next? I'm thinking in my mind, Allah, I know you ain't gonna let me go out like this. You know what I'm saying? I do pray, you know what I'm saying? And alhamdulillah, I woke up several days later. You know what I'm saying? Tools in my nose, tools in my mouth, tools in my joint, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I woke up.
Allahu Akbar.
You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. That's what I kept saying. I woke up. And at this very moment, I realized my life needed change. My sister was a devout Muslim at the time, and she brought my Sahabas through. Shout out to Talib, Yusuf, and Talib. They came through. They made dua, and they was telling me like, Muslims don't be in a titty bar. Muslims don't drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we don't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the slightest clue of what my deen is. I just know something about these prayers protect me. And when I don't do them, it's like
free fall.
Free fall. I'm subject to catch whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No protection.
No protection. This is my shield. It's like damn near like a bulletproof vest from the way I was living.
Right.
So that's when I realized my life needed change, and it was another event, because the moment I was able to like stand up and prostrate, it's like I healed at light speed. Like I'm back running, hitting the track, working out, you know what I'm saying? And then my man cousin, Vern cousin, Bill, he came to me. He said, man, I'm thinking about converting from Christianity to Islam. What can you tell me? And at the time, mind you, I don't have any knowledge. I just know it's something about these prayers that work. And at the time, I'm like, hey.
But where did you get the prayers from?
Oh, okay. We got to reverse then. We got to go back to my parents. You know what I'm saying? My father was a devout Muslim. You know, he was kind of hard. He was not. I talked to him lately. He was kind of naive, so he was kind of strict with it. He was kind of forceful with it, and it kind of like shied me away from Islam. But this as a baby. You know, my mother.
And where your father was from?
So my father from Africa. He's a stowaway from Ghana. Okay. He stowed away and came over to this country. This is another part of the Cosmometry philosophy that people have to understand. We feeling like we ain't got a shot, we ain't got no chance, but other people are doing the most just to get over here and prospering. But that's another episode right there.
100%.
So my father was he from Africa, and he was a strict Muslim, very strict Muslim, and my mother is a more liberated Muslim. So my father took me to California in like the late 70s, in like 79 or something. I'm probably like 3 or something. And you know, my stepmother, she FIFA, may Allah be pleased with her.
Amen.
She taught me how to read. She taught me how to read Arabic and English when I was a baby, but I was forced. I had to fast. And, Islam, you're not supposed to force your kids at that younger age.
Right.
But I was forced to fast. I was forced to read, forced Arabic.
Yeah, man, Allah have mercy.
Right. And
they didn't know.
I mean, this, Allah knows best, man. Plans with Allah's best planners. So this kind of like left me with a disdain towards Islam. You know what I'm saying? And,
I can see, because it was forced.
It was forced upon me
without even a proper understanding.
Without an inkling of a clue.
Wow.
But however, it was the greatest ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the greatest blessing. So I always gotta look at it from both angles.
100%.
So he was forceful, and then so he took me out to California. We stayed out there, and then he sent me back when I was 7 to my mama. And my mama, like I said, she's Muslim, but she liberated Muslims, so it's not mandatory that we do anything in the house. So of course, I'm not going to pray or do anything. I'm running from anybody, any type I see a big beard, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want no parts.
For sure.
But now looking back at my life in retrospect, I see the compare and contrast, the wide difference. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I'm talking about. I'm 7 when so we moved into these little projects in Research Park in Detroit, off Trumbull and John C. Lodge, and I'm like 7. We in a sandbox, and they beating me up, picking with me, teasing. I come from a Muslim Ummah brotherhood. I don't know nothing about this. Is a culture shock. They beating me up, you know what I'm saying? And telling me something, you ain't had no coochie yet. They tease me because I had, like, nigga, I'm 7. I'm 7. I had no coochie yet. You a virgin. Nigga, I'm 7. Like, this Detroit something. This Detroit something different. I'm like, so looking back in retrospect, I'm seeing the clear difference between how you being raised Islamically versus non-Islamic. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put no other faith on it. Just say non-Islamic. You don't got the guidance at all.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So a man's cousin came asked me, saying, think about converting to Christianity to Islam. And at the time, it was 2 dudes in the house. Maybe one don't even get an honorable mention because he did some sucker shit. But and the other one, one was a 5%er and one was a Mo.
Okay.
And they're both raising good points about Islam. And mind you, I'm naive to I'm naive to all of these things. I don't know my deen for sure. But it's one thing I do know. So when the Christians got quiet, he asked the 5%. He said, so, I ain't gonna say his name. You don't get an honorable mention. Who do you believe is God? And it got quiet for about 5 seconds, and then he slapped himself on the chest, very proud and arrogantly. I'm God. And a'udhu billahi, my stomach cringed, because if I don't know anything else about it, mind you, I'm running from Islam. But if I don't know nothing else about Islam, I know this is the worst, the worst thing you can do is claim divinity. You see what I'm saying? It's associate partners. Ayat 21:29. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say there will be a fire prepared for those who call themselves God. We got this. We got the ayat. You can a person can twist that how they want to twist it.
Get the ayat one more time.
21:29. Look, you got the tab right there. Let's go to it. That's matter of fact, right here. This is a good time to go to it.
That's why I keep the kitab so we can go right to it. 21?
Surah 21, ayat 29. I think I posted it the other day. If I don't know nothing else, so when you think about the journey and you think about me on that curve saying Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, and now I'm right here with the question, and somebody else representing me, representing what I believe in, is saying he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
So it says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. It says, and if any of them should say, verily I am a God besides him, Allah alone, such a one we should recompense with hell. Thus we recompense the Zalimun and the wrongdoers.
Say it again. Said we should recompense with who?
The wrongdoers.
No, he said, except so them we should recompense with what? With hell.
Recompense with the hellfire.
With the hellfire. You broke that verse down. So you see it. You see what it says.
So it says, verse 21, ayat 29, and it says, if any of them should say, verily I am an Ilah, a God, besides him, Allah, such a one we should recompense with hell. Thus we recompense the Zalimun. And who are the Zalimun?
The wrongdoers.
And the polytheists.
Those
who are associate
partners. You got a triplet. You got a triplet going on. You got this. That's what you know what I'm saying?
Be careful, man.
Be careful.
Watch your tongue.
You know, and like I say, I was on the curve thinking about what's next after this life. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that right there sparked my journey. I started making dua for knowledge and understanding of Islam.
Okay, so
and I kept getting distracted. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go to the next question.
Okay, so with that being said, how did you overcome them obstacles, and what kept you motivated during them times?
Because first of all, it's my faith. I'm seeing these prayer things is working like miracles, but I told you my understanding is not there. So, but I'm making dua for knowledge and understanding. However, every time I go to pick up a kitab, who is it? Hey, I'm trying to holler at you. You know, my phone ringing. I got some bread on the floor, or chick hollering at, hey, what you doing? Or can I get $2?
Distraction.
Yeah, Iblis is working overtime. You feel me, to keep me distracted. The shaitan is working overtime to keep me distracted till I look up and I'm in quarantine. I look up and I'm in quarantine, and I seen all of the signs. That's why I know the card of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is real, because I seen all of the signs to evade, you know what I'm saying, the case that I caught. We had I'm in the crib putting a stash spot in my crib, and the people come take a picture of my house, and me and my man just happen to be looking right now. We had a long talk about him getting out because he quit the game cold turkey. We had a long talk about it, and he said some shit like that just happened. I said, what made you quit cold turkey? He said some shit just like that. He said, what's the odds of you getting a sign like that to quit? You see what I'm saying? my other man came to me, said, man, I'm done. I'm quit. He said, go watch this movie called 25th Hour. And it's about a dude who gave himself 7 months to get out the game and end up catching the case within that 7 months and got 7 years.
Wow.
Look, this is I want to say it might be weeks prior to me getting locked up. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
And so all these warning signs, I seen Mile in detention center in my dreams.
Damn,
all these warning signs are coming to me to quit cold turkey, and I still ended up in the joint.
Wow.
In the feds on gun cases, on gun charges. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spared me.
I'm doing
you see what I'm saying?
But his mercy is so immenseful, man, and that's when we have to always go back to Allah.
That's how I know this journey was meant. I know this is just a part of the journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the first thing, I'm in quarantine. Now, mind you, I'm talking to my grandmother. My grandmother is a devout Baptist Christian, you know, and she's the most prominent religious figure in my family at the moment, because my father all the way across the globe, all the way across the country, and my mother is Muslim, but she's liberated Muslim. She's not imposing nothing, but my grandmother is devout Baptist, and I'm talking to my grandmother as soon as I hit quarantine on the phone, and she was like, I remember her words, she don't realize how instrumental she is to my journey, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's a most beautiful person. I love that woman.
Man,
I love that woman. And she was like, Jesus is God. And I was like, I love you, Grandma. I was like, I love you, Grandma. And I hung up. But I'm not just the type to say, you know what? I ain't just automatically dismiss her. I said, you know what? Is this the truth, or do I believe this because this is what I was taught to believe? You see what I'm saying? And that sparked my journey right there. Soon as I get off the phone, I go offer salat. Soon as I offer salat, it's a dude in there. He said, oh, you Muslim? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I'm Muslim too. I said, what kind of Muslim? First, now I need to know what you own now, because some other stuff just went down and I didn't agree. I didn't agree with that. He was like, oh, like Orthodox Islam. I was like, what's that? You know, like the original teachings, Sunni, Shia, just Orthodox Islam. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And then I start seeking that whole time. I was just, I got first, I want to say the first 2 books I read was the Glorious Quran American, Volume 1 and 2, was to split a whole bunch of, hadiths in it. But I read that and it was just hitting me. It was just hitting me every verse for verse. I mean,
it's powerful.
Look, I'm not even understanding to the situation I'm in. I'm in the feds, but I'm like, I'm somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm never coming back again. So I'm seeking out something to do other than sell drugs, because this is all that I know. But when I was in that hospital, I'm like, man, people don't live like this. Right. Everybody don't live like this. It got to be something I'm doing. Huh? Why? And so I started challenging my paradigm then. But while I'm reading the Kitab, I'm just seeing it so vivid. How we got Shaitan is going to make wrongdoing fair seeming.
For sure. And he's done it.
Right. And I'm seeing how the play is put down so strategically.
Right. For sure. So I got to,
fast forward a little bit.
Yeah. Because we would be all day, man.
We definitely would.
But we not, this is something that we going to catch every season.
Facts.
Me and you going to catch this every season. I don't think there should be a season without us getting a dialogue. So I want to skip to what you were speaking about, the rappers working for the feds, man. What do you give me that? Give me that game,
okay, man. Because this all happened in the Fed vacation. This when the Epiphany hit. You know what I'm saying? And I seen how you was there with me. We own business in Islam. We own business in Islam from blocks to boardroom. We own business in Islam. But I seen how when we went to the homies kept giving us every time you suggest anything outside of the game, you getting argued up under the bench with Jeezy quotes. And I'm gonna make this brief. You know what I'm saying? Because when I call it the Jeezy effect, it's not Jeezy per se. It's just the epiphany, the awakening for me.
In the time period.
You're right. The time, right. It was the awakening.
It was the era.
Right. And I realized that they had commercialized the dope game as a part of their psychological warfare against the African American, black man.
Yes, sir.
We got to say this. I'm saying this every time I get. Prison is big business.
Yes, sir.
And the black man in America is the hottest commodity.
100%.
Our music being the most effective and efficient marketing campaign for a jail cell. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep that. So keep it a buck. You got to keep it a buck, and we can't blame the rappers of the day. You can't blame drill music without blaming NWA and Ice Cube,
100%.
Because that was the first drill music.
100%.
So like I say, looking at my life in retrospect, seeing how me and all of my peers were influenced by the music. Seeing how the music was a marketing campaign, it was promoting. It was a rappers were billboards for prisons. We were feeding the prison industrial complex. I witnessed it firsthand with Jeezy. How I seen the effect how Jeezy had from everybody in the federal penal system from 18 to 40 plus. You see what I'm saying? I witnessed it firsthand. You seen it. They coming in hypnotized off Jeezy quotes. They can't get past.
I was hypnotized off Jeezy quotes.
I was too.
Shouts out to Jeezy.
Listen.
Hey, Jeezy, you got a lot of niggas in the feds. You got to explain
it to dude, because you really
got a lot of niggas in the feds.
Like, this is no strike. I don't think you knew any better. I don't think he knew any better. I'm not blaming him.
No.
I think you got 2 types of rappers.
Yeah.
You got coons and puppets. You got coons and puppets. You got some, the puppet is the one I don't know. I just know I'm just rapping my life. I'm just rapping what I'm living. I was once that puppet, because we're gonna have to pivot to me in the rap scene too.
Right.
Because I was once that puppet.
Right.
But you got coons and puppets. A puppet is one who don't know what he doing. A coon is one who know I think certain people higher up, I ain't give them niggas mentions, but higher up niggas with that bag, niggas who brought us Jeezy and Rick Ross.
No honorable mention.
Niggas who brought us Jeezy and Rick Ross. No dishonorable
mentions.
I think you knew.
No dishonorable mentions.
I think you knew when that other race dude came to you and split your crew up.
No dishonorable mentions.
When that other split your crew up, I think your partner, they seen your partner was standing on morals and principles.
No dishonorable mentions.
And they listen. They was like, we got to get this dude away from him.
No dishonorable mentions.
He gonna fuck up the game plan. You know what I'm saying? He gonna fuck up the game plan. We know what it is. It's big business. It's big. Prison is big business.
100%.
Prison is big business, and we got to pivot to the secret meeting that's supposed to had happened between the record labels and the record and the prison industry. You know what I'm saying? That, allegedly there's somebody who released a letter saying that there was a secret meeting that happened in the early '90s that the record labels were instructed to put out all music that promotes and glorifies criminal behavior because they built these prisons. They built the prisons before they had the occupants. Now, whether or not the letter is true or not, the meeting is true or not, it happened. It's like Willie Lynch. That's another thing. Our music is Willie Lynch on steroids too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I gotta chime in, man, because the way that you made that particular perspective and that insight, I wanted to allow you to expound on when you said that the music industry is the Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. Inevitably, the feds, the whole criminal justice system is the new Jim Crow. We understand this. Michelle Alexander, you gotta read that. Right. Everybody must read that. Shouts out to Miss Michelle Alexander. I read it. The new Jim Crow. Right. The new Jim Crow. You every black man in America should read that. Yep. So if we know this, mind you, I'm going back to 17 when the criminal justice system lined me up, and I'm 17 and don't know no better. You trying to book me. You see what I'm saying? So y'all out to get us. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So they can't. But anyway, so what was the question? Okay. So as we are wrapping up, man, what advice would you give to someone who is currently facing any similar challenges that we face within the industry, within the music, the prison, the block, any obstacle that you think that our viewers may face? What type of advice would you give? Because that's where most of our youth and our young adults are lacking. The first number one step is to unsubscribe. Unsubscribe from the street gangster rapper psychology. Boom. It's psychological warfare. Understand that you are being attacked on every level. And the biggest battle is with that music. They attacking you every level. So you got to unsubscribe from all street philosophy and adapt an Islamic perspective. Because if you know anything about our history, the last time we were great in the year 711, the Muslim Khalifa took off to invade Europe, and it was in that movement. It was 7,000 Muslims. It was 1,000 Arabs and 6,000 Africans called the Moors. And through that, you get the first university, you get science, we civilize humanity. And it's two stories are being told. We got to break this down. Two stories are being told. If you look from a Arab Muslim perspective, they're going to say the Muslims. Anybody can pick up their phone and Google Islam's contribution to the world, to civilization, to humanity, and a whole host of things are going to come up. And the pro-black community is over here saying, oh yeah, the Moors. You see what I'm saying? And you can do the same Google search and that same list is going to pop up. But what each party ain't telling you is A, they were the majority Africans, and B, they were Muslims. You see what I'm saying? Demonstrating the Holy Quran of Mecca, not the
Not with a K, not with a K. They were demonstrating the Holy Quran of Mecca. So you got to understand that. And through that were our golden ages. The European Dark Ages were our golden ages. And we, like I said, you get everything. And once again, everything is stole from us. You know, they soaked up game and divide and conquer, hit you with the Willie Lynch, the birth, then the birth of, we had, listen, the Southern hair, you got to go, man, we got I got so much long to go. How much time we got, man?
Man, listen, man. Tell me about Qasonometry Philosophy, because this is where Qasonometry Philosophy is where game is distributed at.
Right.
So this is how we drive our audience, our fans, to Qasonometry Philosophy if they want to know more about what you talking about, where they can get this game from.
Okay.
But explain to us a little about Qasonometry Philosophy.
Okay, the Qasonometry, I had a song, we had a record label called Gangsta Boogie, and it was a street song called Qasonometry, and it was basically giving game in the streets. And after my awakening, after the Jeezy effect of my awakening, and me start realizing that we being psychologically manipulated, socially engineered to our own demise through the music, I come up with something called the Cosmometry Philosophy. And there's certain things, like one is, they say if you want to hide some of a black man, put it in a book. And the Cosmometry Philosophy says if you want to expose something to a black man, put it in the hook. You see what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, with some people you spend time, with others you invested, but literally it's really just trying to reel everybody back to our original, the last time we were dominant, when we were following the Holy Quran of Mecca. You see what I'm saying? So and once you get that understanding, you understand that Islam is the counter system to the system of racism and white supremacy, labor law, politics, sex, religion, war, entertainment, education. All of it. Islam counters all of these things that they control to try to, you know what I'm saying, keep you oppressed.
Right.
The oppressing is really psychological. Once you know better, you knew better, you do better.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure. So as we're wrapping up, before we wrap up, can you share one thing you wish more people could have understood about the journey from blocks to boardrooms?
Say that question one more time.
Can you share one thing you wish more people understood about the journey from blocks to boardrooms, from hardship to success?
Man, from hardship to success. Okay. L's are a blessing. People got to understand that nothing you don't get, you got to, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said he will not change the condition of a people till they change the condition of themselves. So when you understand Islam, you understand the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you understand that this is all part of your journey. He won't place a burden on you that you can't bear. So this is the journey. You got to take your L's as a blessing and a lesson, and don't allow it to stress you and get you depressed. People get depressed because they have this sense of entitlement. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So we gotta work on changing this, and what we doing now is changing this narrative. Right,
facts. Once you realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you a breath this morning, you know what I'm saying? Once you realize that you was a sail that outswim trillions of sails to get that, you 100%. You gave you a gift, you know what I'm saying? This is your gift, you know what I'm saying? 100%. Life is a gift, and and Islam promised you the good of this life and the hereafter. You see what I'm saying? It's Allahumma Ameen.
So where can our listeners find more about you, your work, Qasonometry Philosophy, and anything else that you got going on?
Oh, wait, man, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. You can, my Instagram is Qaso313. My Facebook is Qasonometry, my last, and TikTok is Qaso313. But I got a lot of information on there. I'm working on something called Cosmometry Music Media, where we gonna try to work on changing the narrative. Also got something called Gangsta Boogie Radio. Is basically my old record label that I had when I was in the trenches, but I'm gonna allow everybody their freedom to express themselves however they choose. Right. But the Cosmometry Music Media, when that's come, I'm trying to like help artists develop as long as they got like. As long as they're part of changing the narrative,
right?
We need some substance. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
We need some substance going on. I mean, I understand your story, but we need some solutions. You know what I'm saying? And we can't glorify a lifestyle of self-destruction. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Well, listen, man. I thank you, man, for sharing your stories, for sharing your journey from blocks to boardrooms, the block model, man. I appreciate you being a guest, man. If you're looking for Qaso, man, you can find him on Qasonometry. On Instagram, it's Qaso313. On Facebook, it's Qasonometry. And on, what else we say?
I don't know, YouTube.
What's it, YouTube? What's the YouTube?
Qaso White, Qasonometry, Facebook.
Yeah, Qasonometry,
Qaso
Facebook.
White, yep.
Qaso White. So
yeah, Qasonometry Music Media Group.
Well, listen, we have it. We have it in the link.
Yeah,
we have all the direct contacts in the link. Man.
Everything is in process right now. It's in the process.
Mashallah, man, it's a street awakening.
It's a journey for sure.
It's a street awakening.
But the message has to get out before. You know what I'm saying? You only get 24 hours in a day, and every soul shall taste death. So, like I say, I was wondering what's next when I was on that curve. So now I feel like this is my purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, man, mine's too, man.
To awaken the up and coming.
Educate, awareness, and awakening.
Facts.
So this is what we doing, man. From blocks to boardrooms, the block model. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.